Ir koks tavo pirmas įspūdis perskaičius tą laišką?
Documentary is really interesting because it has this collision with real people, with reality, and as a director who isn't a writer, I really like the contact with the source of a play.
Tėvai, eik tu!
Kodėl visada yra kalbama apie gyvybės išsaugojimą?
Tai reikėjo sakyti. Ir dabar mes lygiuojamės į Vakarų Europą.
Bet niekas niekada nekalba. Ir aršiai nekalba apie vaikus vaikų namuose.
The concept here is just to give people a neutral territory. They get told ahead of time, before the dinner, you will be sitting with people that you disagree with, but they're not your uncle, and they're not your brother. And let's see what happens.
So we tried to figure out a way to how to create a play out of that. So we came up with the idea of the assembly, which is very simple. Just 4 people who are citizens who don't know each other get invited to a dinner party. It's moderated by 2 people. And they get asked a series of prearranged questions and get introduced to a 5th person, who we call the polarizing person, by audio. And then they get given essentially a communal task that they have to complete.
You just want to set it up so it's ready to go, and it's only at this point that they're going to start to manipulate the camera. I think if she's playing like that, like they're looking at me, the camera's looking at me.
Ar ta ateitis tau atrodo labiau pesimistinė ar optimistinė?
Kalbant apie globalinę atšilimą, mes išvis praktiškai neturim laiko.
Bet tą akimirką, kai jinai pasakė, nuščiuvo visi, nes...
Well, the biggest challenge with the assembly, I think, is always the same. It's always translating reality into art. Finding structure and meaning and clarity within real life.
Ideas are kind of like our little treasure chest, and we don't always admit that we're so protective of what our conclusions are. But actually, it's highly sensitive. And if you respect the little treasure chest in your own mind, doesn't it make sense that the person you're in front of has the same respect for the little treasure chest they built in their own head? And I feel like the fact that we don't generally respect that in dialogue with each other, that becomes the drama of the assembly in some ways. And that is where we, as audience members of the assembly, find some recognition, you know, with what is happening with the characters on the stage.
We're hoping that there's conflict and that people don't censor themselves and that they have a good discussion, that they feel empowered to disagree. I mean, we have certain rules that we set up. We're not going to allow people to fight, like physically, or to, you know, call each other racist names or something. But we want there to be conflict. We want people to confront each other, to maybe to confront themselves too, their own preconceived notions. And we want to see, you know, maybe people form alliances and then form different alliances and they'll go back and forth. And that's our hope. Our expectation is always that as well. And I think we managed to get that in the dinner, which, you know, we've turned into this play.
Aš tavęs dabar ir noriu paprašyti atsakyti į paskutinį Kaunas Asamblėja dalyvių klausimą.
Manau, labiau žinau, kas aš nebūsiu, o nebūsiu eksploatuojama ir galėsiu gyventi ramiai savo gyvenimą pagaliau ramiai.
Some of you try to do what she wants you to do, and you're trying to work out the problem. I think he thinks her ideas are not thought out, and they're not practical, and they're naive.
He's not an anarcho-communist, but
part of your compassion for the next generation and also your fascination.
We have to try to understand her, and I think that statement is a evolution of his attempt to do what Aistė is asking him to do.
Just ask yourself, have you ever been in a situation where someone you care about has political or social views that you find difficult to understand? And if the answer is yes, then bring them to the assembly and both of you come.